Hello.
We didn't see Zinchenko or Martinelli training today. Are they definitely ruled out? And is there any other fitness or injury news for us?
No, they're not ruled out, but we will see tomorrow what we decide.
It's a pretty big couple of games, isn't it, with PSV to determine who's going to win the group probably. How important is that, and how do you assess the threat that PSV pose?
Really important, and in Europe when you have the chance to take an advantage, you have to do it, because it's always very unpredictable. It can happen in the next game. You have to go away, and we know the level of the other teams as well. So what I can say, obviously, watching them back and what they are doing domestically and internationally, a really tough match.
Yeah, you would have been playing Manchester City tonight, but obviously that game has been postponed. Given everything that happened at the weekend, do you think that suits you?
I don't know. Is what it is. Obviously, the fixtures and the amount of games that we have, at the end of the day, we're going to have to play with everybody, and we have to change the schedule, and we have adapted to that.
It's also Ruud van Nistelrooy coming back to Arsenal. In 2003 and 2004, he was involved in some epic games at Manchester United, the Battle of the Buffet, the Battle of Old Trafford. Do you think he's going to get a hot reception from the Arsenal fans tonight?
I don't know. Obviously, it's a long way back. I wasn't involved at the club at the time. Obviously, you can tell the history of these two clubs and the rivalry that was generated at the time, because they were two exceptional teams. But I don't know.
Thank you.
Simon?
Mikel, there's been a lot of conversation over the last couple of days about manager behaviour and respect towards referees. Obviously, it's difficult for us in the media to put ourselves where you are in the dugout, in the atmosphere of a game, but how easy is it to keep control? And do you think that managers have a responsibility to the wider game, because your actions can translate to park pitches and that can lead to referee abuse?
We do have a responsibility, not only with the referees as well, but with the game, the way we want to get this game played and respected. Obviously, to talk about any managers, I have enough just looking after my own behavior and trying to do the right things for our club. But yes, as you said, it is very intense. It gets heated. There are moments like in the last few games, you've seen many incidents when VAR has to step in, and there is a lot of controversy, and there is a lot of moments where, the result is in the air because it's pending on a decision, and it's not easy to manage, but of course we have a huge responsibility on that.
I mean, do you feel it as a manager? Do you think sometimes, have there been instances where even during the game you've thought, I shouldn't have done that, I kind of let myself down there?
Well, if I have to watch myself on a camera after a match, probably there were things that I would do different. But once you are there on the heat, the way you talk, even to your own players, a lot of time you would do it differently. But it's something that I think we have to learn. I think we are all conscious of it, but sometimes the heat of the game takes you to behave in certain ways.
And just finally, you mentioned about Van Nistelrooy there. I read that there was a game last season where you showed some of the players pictures of that incident between Van Nistelrooy and Keown, just to show them what the rivalry was like. And I guess that came from the fact that both teams were challenging right at the top of the league. That brings pressure. That's effectively where you want to be, isn't it?
Well, obviously where we want to be is being at the top and being the best team in this country, and in order to do that, obviously you're going to have teams that wants to face you, wants to beat you, and is going to build that rivalry into a different level, and we are already experiencing things like that.
Mark for PA?
Okay. You played under enough big name managers. When there is a reaction from a manager on the touchline and they're shouting or they're getting angry, does that impact the players on the pitch?
Probably that's a question more for the players. I don't know how aware they are with what we do. I always say that a team is a reflection of his manager in many ways. That's why I think we have to have as well a responsibility in the way we do things.
you had a bit of a falling out, shall we say, on the touchline with Jurgen Klopp last year in the league game at Anfield. Do you think that had a negative effect then on the result that day? Because after that happened, Liverpool went on and ran away with it almost.
I don't have a clue. If we would have scored when we had a 1v1 situation with Lacazette in front of think it wouldn't affect it. But because we conceded a set piece and then it happened what happened in the second half, it did. So I don't know.
With what happened on the pitch against Liverpool a few weeks ago, Gabriel, has he spoken to you privately? Is he okay? Is everything okay there?
With what happened with?
With Gabriel, with what happened with the Liverpool game, you see, with what happened towards the end, when the referee came over to you and had that conversation?
Yeah, it's okay.
He's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Charles?
Just on Zinchenko, we haven't seen him since the Tottenham game. I know you don't like to talk about team needs or anything, but is it something to worry about with Zinchenko? Are we likely to see him before the World Cup?
No, I don't think so. But obviously he had a current injury in his calf, and that's why he's been out for this period.
Do you think he could be back before the World Cup? We might see him.
Yes.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
And just quickly, tomorrow we're going to see Gakpo at the Emirates, a player who's been heavily linked with a lot of clubs in the Premier League, including Arsenal. What do you think of him as a player, and do you think he's got the qualities to be a success in England?
Yeah, but I'm not here to talk about other players from other teams.
Okay.
Just on sort of the mentality of the players on the pitch and the events we saw at the end with Gabriel, Magalhaes, Big Gabby, he's someone who sort of likes to play on the edge a little bit. He does get involved in those kind of scuffles. Do you like that side to his game, or does it worry you a little bit?
If you know how to manage that situation and where the limits are within the rules, that's something very personal because with the character of a player, but being always very aware that that line is very, very thin.
Do you feel he came close to crossing that line on Sunday?
Well, we were very close because they already made a decision that it has to be turned down by the VAR.
Charlie?
I just want to ask you, when we spoke to each other after the Leeds game Sunday and spoke about your heart rate kind of calming things down again. Did you enjoy your nice food and drink?
I did, a lot.
Because it was a really chaotic game in Leeds and also in Anfield with Man City dropping points, meaning that Arsenal are now 4 points clear at the top.
Yeah, watching it back, obviously, there were some periods, especially in the second half, we put ourselves in trouble and all the decisions that had to be overturned by VAR. So, yeah, it was very tense. We got what we wanted, and tomorrow will be a different game.
And as well, when we spoke to a few of the players after the games, they've always said how special it feels in the change room this season compared to last season. Do you feel that as well?
Yeah, winning obviously helps a lot, but I have no complaints. I think this is an exceptional group that obviously is in a really good moment, that we are enjoying the moment. We want to get better in a lot of things that we are doing, but I think we are in the right path.
Okay, one there.
Hi, Mikel. I just wanted to ask you a bit about Aaron Ramsdale. He's becoming quite notorious for sort of riling up the opposition's fans. I wonder if you kind of see the funny side of that. Have you spoken to him about it? Would you rather he didn't do it at all?
Sorry?
Aaron Ramsdale and the fans behind the goal. He often has a little bit of a joke with the opposition fans. Aaron
With the
Ramsdale.
opposition
Yeah,
fans?
with the opposition, yeah.
I haven't noticed it. Sorry.
Do you think he's the keeper for the team who are top of the league? Does it surprise you that he's not England's number one? What do you think he has to do to start for England at the World Cup?
What he needs to be the best as he possibly can for us, and then it's Gareth and his coaching staff that have to make that decision.
Okay, last couple in the live section, Leith.
Okay, yeah, can I just ask, this week you were due to play Man City, obviously it was postponed for obvious reasons. Who would you rather be playing this week, Man City or PSV?
I don't have a choice, we have to play PSV, so we will play PSV tomorrow.
But would you have liked to play City given the form you're in at the moment?
I don't know. It's obviously we knew from a few weeks back now that that was the schedule, and we need to play this Europa League game as well.
Okay, one there, I think from the Dutch journalist.
Mikel, yeah, from Dutch.
Yep.
What do you think of this PSV squad? Are they capable of doing great things in Europe, or is this just the start with a new coach?
I think it's a really good team. I think what Rudy's done with this team, the way they play, you just see the amount of goals that they are scoring in the domestic league, the way they have performed in the Europa League as well. A really dangerous team.